Hey, everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge podcast, episode number 237. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Follow me at the SkyLounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. And also check out the SkyLounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Without any further ado, let's get shit started with episode number 237, the route out of duplicitous reality and dive to athletics. Sports Pandamonium. And yeah, the pandemonium is just all around us, boys and girls, in the month of August, within the realm of sports ball. And yes, within the realms of the NBA, the playoffs have officially started. And there are already fun stories from day one of the playoffs. Game ones all around Monday evening. And early Monday morning, really. Where, yeah, Donovan Mitchell drops 57 points on the Denver Nuggets and still lose in overtime. Rudy Gobert's your number two. Defensive monster, yes. But kind of soft. Oh, but how do you quantify softness? When you cry after an all-star snub, that already tells me you're soft. And yeah, I know that's not the actual factor as to why they fucking lost to the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are actually a great fucking team with Jokic, Murray, and all these other cats. But as a number two, I think Gobert is pretty soft as a big man. And yeah, Utah Jazz seem pretty destined to get knocked out of this tournament by the Denver Nuggets, 4-1, as I have guessed on this channel for that series a couple days ago. And yeah, I also had the Toronto Raptors pretty handedly taking care of the Brooklyn Nets, because despite the fact that, yes, the Brooklyn Nets does boast some talent, and no, I'm not talking about Kyrie, I'm not talking about Kevin Durant, hell, I'm not even talking about DeAndre Jordan, I'm just talking about the core guys that they got in Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, fucking hell, who's that one kid? Like Julius Irving-esque hair going on. Spencer Dinwiddie. Holy fucking shit. How did I forget that goddamn name? Anyways, those three core guys have been key for the Brooklyn Nets for many years now. And yeah, despite how good that core is, you're not going to fuck with Toronto. That's just it. Toronto is one of those teams that has been really undervalued for whatever fucking reason. And honestly, it's kind of disheartening to see how people just count out Toronto. It's like, guys, Freddie VanVleet is just forming into an all-star form. Kyle Lowry is just being an efficient beast. You still got Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, Anunoby. Good Lord, dude. It is a fucking roster, top to bottom, just filled up with talent and depth. And I see Toronto going on a really deep run here. Back-to-back championship? Dude, maybe. I wouldn't be even fucking surprised if that happens. But you know how the NBA is. It's kind of rigged. Can you prove that? No, but I can show you the receipts of cheating that's been going on in the NBA for quite some time. Decades, actually. But we'll see how these playoffs go, right? For the Boston Celtics, it's not going to be really a laughing matter, despite the fact that they beat the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 1, because Gordon Hayward is set to be out for 4 weeks with a grade 3 right ankle sprain. That is just a horrible run of bad luck. Ever since Gordon Hayward has joined the Boston Celtics, it has just been injuries after injuries after injuries. And you have to feel for the guy. You do. I'm a Lakers fan, but I feel terrible for Gordon Hayward. The first ever injury that he got in the Boston Celtics was his first ever game in the Boston Celtics at fucking TD Garden. His fucking leg just twisted up. It was nasty. I feel horrible for the kid. I do. And that raises the question, do I think the Boston Celtics are done? Hell no! You got Brad Stevens down there. You got a good core of Tatum and Smart and Brown. Jaylen Brown's still there. Sometimes I can't even fucking catch up with roster updates because I'm an idiot. But the whole thing with the Boston Celtics, and something that I have been saying for quite some time, is this is Jason Tatum's franchise. This has always been Jason Tatum's franchise. Kyrie was the roadblock. Jason Tatum is the direction forward as your forward. And man, I think Jason Tatum is going to show out in this series against the Philadelphia 76ers. Be on the lookout for like game 2 and 3, where it's going to be pivotal for the Boston Celtics to get a leg up on the 76ers, who are also, without Simmons and still hobbling. But I still would have said the Celtics beat them in the series pretty handedly. But yeah, watch out for Jason Tatum's, supposed emergence through mainstream media. But basketball fans know that Jason Tatum's had it since year 1. And we're just now seeing his kind of flourished, more matured version. And I can't help it, man. I hate the Boston Celtics, but I love this kid, Jason Tatum. I love his game. I love the way he plays. He's very Kobe-esque in that sense of basketball and his aggression to get to the basket. So he's somebody that I really, really have a basketball hard-on for. I'm going to be crude about it, boys and girls. And one thing I'm going to be cruder about is my treatment of the Clippers. No, they're not Los Angeles' team. They're the fucking Clippers. They belong in Anaheim, but honestly, they should be stuck back in fucking Buffalo, where all mediocre sports belong in. And the mediocrity of the Clippers kind of oozed into the referees, where Dallas Mavericks Kristaps Porzingis was given a technical foul for defending fellow teammate and Luka Doncic, where Marcus Morris, Clippers player, by the way, dipshit Clippers player Marcus Morris, was actually fondling, molesting, and fucking trying to get at Luka Doncic by grappling him. Yeah, Kristaps gets the fucking technical and gets kicked out of the game in the third quarter. Is that fucking right? I kind of joked about the whole NBA being rigged shit. But when you see a series like this in game 1 and like this fucking shit happens with Kristaps Porzingis, you're thinking, well, there we go. We all know how fucking badly the NBA needs the Clippers to make it to the Western Conference Final against the Lakers, which, by the way, that path has already been set. Like, we know that. We know how the NBA works. It's all marketing. Kobe just fucking died this year. Of course you're going to have the Lakers in the fucking final. I'm not saying, manifest destiny, this all belongs to us. No! This is just the way the NBA works. They're all about narratives. They're all about the typical fucking team going in. And that shit in game 1, Dallas Mavericks and Clippers, that's some real bullshit. If the Clippers make it to the Western Conference Final, I am looking at that game 1 and saying, wow, if you need more receipts as to why the NBA is rigged, right there. Jesus fucking Christ, you give Kristaps Porzingis a technical on that. Oh, okay. Hey, ref, Marcus Morris is trying to fucking jerk off Luka Doncic from the back, the fucking behind the fucking back jerk off move. You know what I'm talking about? And he doesn't like it. But you're going to kick out Kristaps Porzingis? Okay. All right. God, the Lakers are going to be part of this circus act, aren't they? Yeah, they are. You already know, man. Bad calls in the Lakers go hand in hand. Bad officiating in the Lakers just hand in hand. Salty other fan base in the Lakers hand in hand. This is always going to happen. This is always going to happen. And it doesn't matter that the Lakers have been on a playoff drought for more than half a fucking decade. Which, by the way, the last time the Lakers were in the playoffs, the starting lineup was Darius Morris, Andrew Goodluck, Earl Clark, Pau Gasol, and Dwight Howard. Oh, we're going back to the playoffs with every goddamn arrogant Lakers fans jumping on to the proverbial bandwagon. And yeah, I know. And like some Lakers fan have been around here for quite some time. I mean, I count myself in there, but I put myself more in the cynical and realistic, category of fans. And, in Lakers fandom, that is met with a lot of disdain and ire. But, if you can't be fucking honest about your own team, you're just a dipshit. You're an ignorant dipshit. And one of these things that I know about the Lakers is, despite the fact that, Rajon Rondo is back with the team, cleared quarantine, returns in the bubble, actually joins the team in the bubble. I know how fucking bad Rondo is going to be initially. Playoff Rondo? Maybe. Maybe if he returns, but there's no timetable. And it's just some of these things with the Lakers that you watch during the fucking play-in games. Where, lackadaisical because it's not a playoff game, yes, but you saw kind of the similar trends that you saw in the regular season. Poor free throw shooting, difficulty trying to generate shots, landing shots, difficulty rebounding at times. It was all there in full force, and it's become very evident as a Lakers fan that the toxic tribalistic nature of the Lakers fandom has gotten worse. It's gotten worse. And I honestly can blame that shit on LeBron James. I really can. Because you bring your fucking toxic fans to this goddamn team that's already toxic enough to create this volatile Chernobyl-style explosion of toxicity. Dude, it's a fucking headache to just have the Lakers in the news sphere every fucking day. Like, all right, dude, I get it. They're a team. But there are 16 other fucking teams around here. Can you all just fuck off real quick? Jesus, dude. And, 16 teams trying to fight their way in to keep going in the playoffs. But, LeBron James. Talk about playoff mode. Oh, we're all going to be in this. It's for Kobe. Or, whenever LeBron James opens his mouth, it's almost like, he's going to say some shit for bullshit attention. And LeBron James coming out with the Space Jam 2 teaser, at least a jersey teaser, was kind of nauseating. I know it's the marketing team. I know it's not actual LeBron James. Like, oh, I'm not even playing. I'm just going to show you this teaser. But, dude, you're dropping that shit right during the fucking playoffs, right before you fucking play, to put more unnecessary microscope on the Lakers and more fucking stupid ass criticism towards you because you're just a goddamn diva. Come on, man. Just shut up and dribble. I mean, all I have to say about that fucking Space Jams 2 jersey teaser was, man, did LSD throw up on a basketball jersey? What the fuck did I just look at? I mean, that was horrible. But you criticize anything LeBron James does, his toxic fanboys are going to run at you with their fucking knives like, you say something, bro! This is the GOAT! Don't you dare talk about a GOAT like that! Like, all right, dude. You can't fucking logic and rationalize shit. Gotta use and incite violence. Typical retard. But I don't expect anything, more from a group of fanboys who can't do basic math. 3 championships is not adequate when it comes to the sphere of top 10, nay, top 5, but you know, I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying. Larry's only had 5. Larry's not even had 5. He's only had 3. Fuck you. Larry is a god. Larry Bird was a god, kids. Don't you ever fucking come here on this channel and talk about how, oh, Larry Bird was the most overrated forward. Shut the fuck up. If it wasn't for the goddamn back injuries, Larry would have been a fucking demigod of the NBA. He already was a fucking demigod, but he would have been like an actual god. He would have probably been a god if it wasn't for the fucking injuries. But I swear to God, man, you try to talk basketball to younger kids, it's like they don't know anything in terms of history. All they know is recent shit. Like, oh, KD is the greatest fucking forward ever. He would beat Larry Bird on one-on-one basketball. Huh? What the fuck are you talking about? Larry Bird would trash talk the shit out of Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant would cry, run to the bathroom, tweet about that shit, and have the woke mob just fucking attack Larry Bird and say, you're part of the problem. You're white. And that's how Kevin Durant would actually win the one-on-one. Because you can't fucking beat Larry one-on-one, motherfucker. What are you talking about? I'm a Lakers fan and I can recognize that Larry Bird is one of the greatest fucking players to ever play the game. He is a top 5 fucking basketball talent ever. But you're going to talk about Kevin Durant, right? You stupid ass kids. Dude, I'm not even 30 and I'm talking like an old man. It's because I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of the bullshit, man. At least playoff basketball's going on, so that's less of the bullshit. But the basketball generally, with the fans and then just the general stupid pageantry that goes on, it's a shit show. It's a shit show. Hence, I'm fucking happy that hockey was introduced to my city of Las Vegas in 2017. Now, listen, I know it comes with the asterisk. The Las Vegas Wranglers were here for quite some time, but I didn't follow the Wranglers back when they were around. I didn't follow UNLV hockey back when they're still around. But it wasn't until the NHL, landed on the doorsteps of Las Vegas and Las Vegas embraced it. It wasn't until then that I just delved into hockey. And right now, my hockey fanaticism is being satiated every day. Every day I am just full and filled with hockey content, and it is just fantastic because the playoffs are just next level shit. How's the view from home, Toronto? Good fucking Lord. And you know what? I shit on Toronto from time to time, but I'm gonna remind you here, kids, and I'm gonna pull out some pucks here and show you. Again, I have the Dallas Stars puck here. From the game on December 13, 2019, where with Dallas with my mother, and we just had a fucking great time down there, and saw the Vegas Golden Knights win in overtime against the Dallas Stars, which was a phenomenal game, and also this puck. So this puck here, boys and girls, if you can't see it, which on the audio version you clearly won't be able to see it, this is a puck from the Vegas Golden Knights and Toronto Maple Leafs game on December 31st, 2017, where William Karlsson scored his first ever hat trick for the Vegas Golden Knights. And I recall that day just being so memorable because, first of all, I got off work at 3 a.m. and within a couple of hours, I was just walking around the strip, made myself, walk around for quite some time to just get to game time before the soccer game at 7 a.m. And then it was just this whole 24, 36-hour experience of just watching hockey, watching football, watching basketball, and working. It was just a crazy ass day, but Yeah, I have a soft spot for Toronto. That's the whole fucking point I'm getting at. And I know I'm berating Toronto. It's the low blow. It's the easy fucking joke to go for. But yeah, I joke and I kid and I criticize certain things in certain teams because I have a bit of a softer spot for them. Like this fixture is always going to be one of my favorites. The Vegas Golden Knights versus Toronto Maple Leafs. No matter when they face each other, and it's only twice a year, twice a season, I have a brilliant time. Toronto Maple Leafs fans, away fans are fantastic. Every time I've talked to Toronto Maple Leafs fans, away fans, they've always been brilliant, super nice, very chill people, and the results of the game is always fun because I like those characters down there in Toronto. But yeah, the truth of the matter is you got embarrassed out of the playoffs while paying $40 million for 4 players. Over $40 million for 4 players. That's not why I spend it, kids. That's not why I spend it. But sometimes, with gambling, if you do it responsibly, can be some wise spending. And today, boys and girls, I put some bets for the upcoming games in the NHL. Now, by the time the YouTube video comes out, the results of the games will be clear and obvious, but prior to the games, I put some fucking bets up, and I'll probably talk about the fucking bets in a couple of days on the YouTube video, even the podcast. But your boy put some bets, and 3 specifically, and they're all reverse puck lines. So the odds are a bit higher, but I like those reverse puck lines because it's just minimum fucking. It's really minimum amount of money that you're putting up on your front, but the potential to make shit back is pretty damn decent. So Montreal Canadiens -1.5 at +325. The Calgary Flames -1.5 at +300, and the Washington Capitals -1.5 at +270. So if one hits, I just make my money back. So that's also the key here. Just do it responsibly. Don't go fucking ape shit with the goddamn gambling, kids. Okay? All right. So one of the things that's been happening throughout the last 2 or 3 weeks has been European football, specifically Champions League and the Europa League. And they have been playing one-leg fixtures, and the results of some of them have been pretty spectacular, and some just, kind of middle of the road, typical, fixture result, much like how Manchester United in the semifinal were beaten by Sevilla, despite the fact that Bruno Fernandes got another penalty, because that's literally all he fucking scores. And I know Ronaldo gets a shit ton of talks for scoring penalties, but look at the fucking stats for Bruno Fernandes. It's wild how many fucking penalties he gets. But despite the penalty, Sevilla roars back with being down 1 goal, answering 2 goals for themselves, and head into the Europa League final against an Inter Milan team who spanked the Shakhtar Donetsk team 5-0. And I got to tell you, this should be a very exciting matchup because you have a Sevilla team who is known for getting to the Europa League final, 3 years in a row, winning it 3 years in a row, and they're back at it again. And I am very curious to see how this money spending happy, Inter Milan team will balance out because, yeah, you spent all that money in order to win a cup. So I would think Inter Milan gets the win here, but the experience and just being there for Sevilla can be a huge factor for them as well. So that should be a fun fixture in the upcoming weeks. I actually don't know the exact date, but we'll actually be on that shit within a couple of days. I'm actually going to talk about sports ball again on Thursday, kids, so be on the lookout for that podcast episode in 239. But the funny thing about football is sometimes we know what's going to happen, and sometimes something so crazy and wonderful happens that the entire football world just celebrates but is flummoxed. Much like how when Germany beat Brazil 7-1, it was absolute insanity when that happened. And when Barcelona got dick rammed 8-2 by Bayern Munich, the world had a collective outburst of laughter. Except those involved in FC Barcelona, which is obvious because, yeah, you're part of the organization or you're a fan, you're fucking heartbroken. But there was a lot of soul searching done for Barcelona within the last few days of that infamous defeat at the hands of Bayern Munich. Barcelona sacked manager Quique Setien. He's been in the club for 7 months after the sacking of Ernesto Valverde, another shit manager. And Barca also sacked their sporting director in Eric Abidal. And the reports right now is that Ronald Koeman will be brought on as manager, but you question really how long that'll last, because this just feels as though FC Barcelona is heading to this route that they used to fucking slander about Real Madrid, the whole Galacticos thing and buying too much shit. It's like, wait, hold on. You're doing this, but worse. You have no actual football philosophy to what you're going to do on the field. You're just buying up big names. Oh, and you got Messi. Congratulations. You haven't done shit with Messi for a couple of seasons now, relatively speaking, to the money you spent and the personnel that you got. But Barcelona's just going to play dumb. Yeah, they'll bring in Koeman, but how long will he last? If he doesn't win a trophy, are you really going to keep him around? Inevitably, I see a route for the Catalonians the same way the Madristas went about with their head coach hiring. They went with a former player, a beloved former player that knows the game, knows the players, and can reach to them. And I can totally see in the near future a guy like Puyol, Iniesta, or Xavi coming into the squad as head coach and trying to bring that team's, heart and soul back into the pitch and into the locker room. Because right now, Barcelona is a shithole. There's really no other way to say it. It's a luxurious shithole, but it's a shithole regardless. And Barcelona, I don't know if they'll actually figure it out, man. 'Tis the way in the crazy world of football. But there's also another crazy world of football on the other side of the pond in America, kids. And it's the NFL, the National Football League. So the Kansas City Chiefs are reportedly set to have over 15,000 people for their season and home opener game against the Houston Texans. And honestly, that's a significantly smaller number than what I would have anticipated at possibly 50% in terms of capacity. But yeah, it's just wild to me how teams will just kind of react to data in such a way that will probably be a detriment financially for the league, because 15,000 for a home opener, dude, you're not even playing in the MLS. This is the National Football League. This could set a very weird precedent. Kansas City Chiefs being Super Bowl winners with the $500 million quarterback. And once that precedent is set, other teams will follow. And yeah, you have the bottom of the barrel team in the Washington Redskins announcing that they will have no fans in attendance this season. And you just chuckle because, well, that's the Redskins. No one gives a shit what they do. Because, yeah, the bottom of the barrel is really the worst case scenario, worst thing you could do, which is the Washington Redskins. And right now, seemingly, and by all optics and numbers and obviously the accolades of Super Bowl 54, the Kansas City Chiefs are the beauty of the bell, beauty of the ball, whatever the bell of the ball, whatever the fuck the goddamn phrase is. That will be the standard, and that will be the precedent. So 15,000 is a very, 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 very small number for the NFL. And yeah, I'm very curious to see how Kung Flu will fuck up the revenue for the NFL. Although, yeah, I mean, they're owned by these fucking billionaires who don't really need that extra money, but for the betterment of the sport, that's what I worry about. And this is what I worry about with the Washington Redskins, because they aren't at all part of the betterment of the sport. The Washington Redskins have been prolific in their incompetence and their inefficiencies. And here's the thing. With the Washington Redskins, aka that shitty woke football team in Washington, D.C., decided they need to go with a bit of a splash hire in hiring former NFL running back Jason Wright as the first black team president in league history. Okay, great. So what's his resume beforehand? Well, if you actually look at his statistics in the NFL, he was a very mediocre running back. But he has his degrees. He has his MBA, if I'm not mistaken. And what's the best way to say it? Very short and very small substance in terms of resume. But very curious to see how this goes. A very young man who will definitely have visions of how to build back up this football team. But to be quite honest, when you look at ownership and everything else above, just GM, players, coaches, all that shit, this feels just like a diversity PR hire. And it's really any kind of bait and catnip to just sort of satiate the insane and woke crowd so they don't fucking bitch and moan anymore. But the Washington Redskins have put themselves in a corner. So no matter what they do, they will have detractors more than fans. That's just the way it goes when you fucking fall in line with goddamn wokes and sheeps. That's the way things go, man. Never bow down to the oppressors. Stand up proud. Unlike the Washington Redskins. No fans, no real football team, and yeah, Chase Young is going to be wasted in that team. It's unfortunate. But ultimately, kids, the joy of hot sports is fantastic. Literal hot sports, because we're in August, but thank God for air conditioning. And on the next episode of the Sky Lounge, the world is real cringe, dude. It's cringe as fuck. Got all these athletes kneeling. You got these celebrities acting like shit is just the worst fucking thing here in America. And you have the Do Nothing Convention, DNC, with the cringe-ass lineup in day one. And they will probably continue into day two. And however many fucking bullshit orgy they can put up in our goddamn face until we vomit and say, no, enough is enough. So we'll probably get into that on the next episode. All right, motherfuckers. I appreciate you dropping by this episode. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. And also check out the Sky Lounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Until next time, kids. Fuck off.